Hello there, and welcome to the Chemistry 152 online section at Sandhills Community College. My name is Professor Brennan Brown, and I am going to be your lab instructor for this session. In this video, I'm going to show you how to access the lab materials and turn in the lab assignments as you complete them. Here we have the Moodle page for the Chemistry 152 section open. You can see that at the top we have all of your standard introductory information, where we have the welcome video, the orientation quiz, the syllabus, the schedule of assignments, and some other information. Just past this introductory info, the first tab that you come to is the lab section. Here in the lab section, I have a few things posted. The very first is a reminder of how the grading works for the lab section. Here at Sandhills, the labs are integrated into the lectures for a 4-hour total credit. You don't get one grade for lab and 1 grade for lecture. It's all combined. With that said, the labs are worth either 75 or 100 points depending on the length. Shorter labs are worth 75 points and longer labs are worth 100. These labs will all be accepted up to 3 days late with a 10-point per day penalty. So after the first day, you automatically receive 10 points off. After the second, it is 20 points off, and after the third day, it is 30 points from the grade that you receive. Labs will not be accepted past 3 days late. This is a 4.5-week session, and we have to make sure everything is done on time. At the end of the semester, your score for the lab will be determined by taking the total points you earned from lab and dividing that by the total points that were available throughout the lab section, and multiplying that figure by 100. This will give me a grade between 0 and 100, a percentage of the points you earned essentially, and that will then be factored as 25% of your lecture grade. Please pay attention to the following warning. Failure to turn in 2 of the labs, any 2 of the labs, by the 3rd day after their due date is considered failure to meet expectations of the course and will result in withdrawal from the course regardless of other performance. So even if you have great grades, even if you have A's on everything, if you miss 2 of the labs by more than 3 days, you will be dropped from the course. Please don't allow that to happen. If there is something hindering you from performing the labs, please email me to see what can be done to get you back on track. But this is a hard requirement. If I don't hear anything from you and 2 labs go by without you turning them in, you will be dropped from the course. With that out of the way, let's jump in and look at a little bit of the information you will need to access your lab. The first thing after the grading information there is some lab info. Here you'll find your lab manual. This is where all of the labs that you will perform are aggregated together. I have them broken down individually in the sections that follow, so you don't have to download the entire big lab manual if you don't want to. You can just look at them individually down below. However, if you want it, it is there. The next 2 entries that we see on the Moodle page are a bad photo example. In a few of the labs, or actually in many of the labs, you are going to be required to take pictures of yourself performing them in order to show that you did the work. This video here is just a short video that shows the difference between what a good lab looks like and what a bad lab looks like. Following that, there is a tutorial on how to graph data and fit a line to that data with an equation using the Excel spreadsheet software. If it's been a while since you have graphed and charted data, or you've never been asked to do this before, you will need to review this video for some of the labs. About 3 of these labs have you graph your data and interpret the results using a spreadsheet by finding a linear equation fit to your data. You can view this before the labs take place, or you can use that as you come to those labs. The choice is up to you, but that information is there should you need it. Following that is a lab safety assignment where I have another video describing some of the safety considerations pertaining directly to the labs that you were asked to perform. Also in this safety section, there is a more generic video and lab safety manual. These materials do pertain directly to online courses and home chemistry essentially. I really implore you that you review these materials before starting any of the lab exercises for our class. Following the safety information, we see each of the individual labs there for you to view, work on, and turn in. Under each one, there is a turn-in assignment space for you to upload the data and questions when you complete them. In these spaces are the due dates for each of these labs, as well as a time requirement description and whether or not pictures are required for the lab. You can see that pictures are required for most of the labs, the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8 does not require pictures, number 9 does not require pictures, 10 does, 11 does not, and experiment 12 does require pictures. So while you're working on those labs that do require pictures, don't forget to have someone taking a picture of you performing the lab. I want to see you in a safe space, somewhere with not a lot of junk around, somewhere with not any food or small children or pets around. You should be wearing your eye protection, and you should be visibly working on some section of the lab, which means I need a picture of you working. Now, unless you set your phone up to take an automatic photo, you probably will need a little bit of help with this. So keep that in mind as you start to work on these labs. Do not forget to take the pictures. I will not give you credit for these labs without a picture of you actually performing the work. So please do not forget that as you begin these labs. The first thing under each section is the background and instructions for the lab. If you open that link, you will find the purpose, the background, the materials, time requirements, safety precautions for that specific lab, followed by the procedure. The procedure is what tells you how to perform the lab. After the procedure on each section, there will be a data section, usually with tables to fill out, and a post-lab set of questions to answer when you are finished. You can find a copy of that data section by clicking on the assignments below each of those background and instruction links. When you open the assignment, this is where you will actually upload your work. You will see a link in each one of those assignments to the data table and questions that are required for that lab. So when you get ready to turn in these labs, all you have to do is download that document, fill it out, and upload it along with pictures of you performing the lab. If we go back to the course page, we can see that there are, as we said earlier, 12 total labs for you to perform. Each one has its background and instructions, as well as the turn-in site for those individual assignments. A few of them have a little bit of extra information, such as the solubility lab has some pictures of salt substitute. You are required to go to the store and pick up the salt substitute. We just provided you with some pictures of ones that will work for you for easy identification. So some of these have a few pieces of extra information to help you do the lab. But all of them should have some of the background instruction sections, as well as a upload spot for you to upload the required data and questions along with the pictures. Again, all I ask is that you make sure to turn in all of these labs within 3 days of their due date. I hope that you turn it in on the due date so as to not lose any of the points available. But one last warning, if you fail to turn in 2 of the labs, you will be dropped from the course. That pretty much covers how to access and turn in the materials for the lab section of this Chemistry 152 class. You should start the lab by performing the safety exercise that you find at the top of the section here, after which you may move on to performing experiment 1, keeping up with the due dates as the semester follows. Please feel free to email me any questions or ask for any help that you need in performing these lab exercises. I am holding office hours here on campus this summer. If you would like some help with one of the labs, I'm just a short email away. You are free to come by and ask questions. You are free to come by and get help performing the lab if one is really stumping you. Please let me know how I can help you succeed in this course. I look forward to working with all of you, and I look forward to having a great semester. I hope you do as well.